This is the always exciting work of pulling expensive ICs out of ancient corroded sockets. So, I don't know, I'll bring this way a bit. You might see less at the top of my head. This is Gary here. I've already started. I have a set of screwdrivers here. I always try and use the widest blade that I can to spread the pressure as much as I can. And I also have a little nylon spudger here as well, which, because you don't want to stick this in here and then lever down onto the board. Although this board I'm not going to keep. But still, I actually don't know what to do with this board. I think when I'm done it may be e-waste. I've covered them in isopropyl and it soaks into the contacts and actually helps with the removal a little bit, and every little bit counts. This one was exciting because of this. I couldn't get past the video connector and I could have removed it, but what I have found, it doesn't come easy because you're like, no, but what I have found is that if I lever a socket up, a chip up on one end, and then I used a water-based varnish on my bench. I have to make sure I turn this inside out, and the isopropyl alcohol makes it tacky. Yeah, if I lever up and then push it down, you can get it to rock a little bit. There's some interesting maths in that about Bayesian blah 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 blah, but putting that to one side, at least I think that applies here, but putting that to one side, it can let you both get the chip moving in the socket so you can pull it, but it can also actually cause it to pop up on the other side. I've never seen anyone discuss that really. I mean, here's an example. Let's do it here. I mean, I don't want to twist. Oh, there we go. So this is up on this end. If I push this back down, oh, yep, it popped up. So now I can get in under here and start him moving. It needn't be an all at once kind of thing. And if one side starts coming up more than the other, now this side's come up more, I can lever on this side, and then I can lever on that side, because he wants to tip over now, and if I continue to lever, he'll bend all the legs, and the legs only have so many cycles before they break off. So just real slow. There's no rush here. If this takes an hour a chip compared to trying to find one online that's new, well, that's been removed without being horribly damaged, it's a pretty good hourly rate for a lot of these chips. Now, that slight bending out of this leg here. Don't go too far. Oh, I'm off the screen. Yeah. This one's pretty corroded as well. Now I'm using a toothbrush here, which is inadvisable in some respects, but the isopropyl on here has been, I did have some anti-static ones, but everything's wet. The isopropyl's taken up water like mad. I can't see it being a massive static risk. I mean, isopropyl isn't conductive. Maybe I should have mixed some water in with it. Would have made it. Pure water's not conductive either. It doesn't stay pure for long. Yeah, this fellow, and then I've just been wiping that, because the outside gets the worst, the fastest. I've just been wiping them off like this. I do have a Agnes. I don't know if it's from this board or if this board because it was scrap when I bought it, came without one. But one of my Agneses is quite scratched. There sometimes you're trying to get them out and they're just glued in there. And you learn too, you know, like flooding the whole area with isopropyl is pretty low risk, and I've actually found it to be highly effective. Anyway, well, highly effective in that it does make a difference, and every difference counts. I have some of this conductive foam over here. That's not squashed into there though, it's just sitting there. That's Buster. All of the ICs on the A2000 Rev 6, all the custom chips I should say, the ones that Commodore made that you can't just go and buy off the shelf today, are in the Amiga 500 except for Buster. And there's a clone of him called Bluster available. With all the other components and a donor A500, I think anyone could build an A2000 remake. You'd tend though to have access to the old board because you want the case. Easy does it. Yep, it lifted up on the other end, that's nice. Because you tend to want the case. And Buster lives over here and the clock battery leaks over there. So Buster's normally in fine shape, but a replacement is available. There is a motherboard that's available, a blank motherboard that allows for the building of an Amiga 2000 on an extended ATX board, EATX. Just going to poke around at both of these. I can't remember which one I started on. Concentrating. Too much on talking. These are lovely and shiny, these fellows. Yep, he popped up at the back. I'll have a chipset sell-off when I'm done building this. I'll keep... Ooh! Ah, we're good. No damage at all. I'll keep a spare chipset. Save for Buster, because I'll just buy... I'll probably try... I want to be able to program CPLDs. I'll start trying to make my own Blusters. I might try making a couple of them. See, he tipped over. He came loose on this side and he tipped over. And there's a temptation to sort of just go, oh, and start hoeing in over here. But it won't work. Even force applied right over there near these pins will continue to fold this over. You can go back into the socket a bit. Ask me how I know. Don't. But yeah, it'd be interesting to make a oh shit, that's all of them. It'd be interesting to start making stuff with CPLD. So I don't even know how to program them. Whether normally you use a header on the board or whether I need to buy a program, I don't know. But I need to master surface mount soldering first, and I suspect I will. Become competent at it. Honestly, having made all this stuff and having spent as much time with molten solder as I have done over the last little while, when I think back to the trepidation with which I faced the surface mount capacitor replacement in my 1200, and it was tricky, but like from here I could do it as a service, but I just don't want to buy into the repair and the risk that comes with repair when the capacitors have leaked. I just don't want to be on the hook. And part of the reason I'm doing these videos, other than for my own entertainment, and these are fun to do, is that I kind of hope that somebody will see this and go, oh, Benjamin doesn't appear to be particularly savvy. I wonder if I wonder if I can replicate what he does myself. And honestly, if I'd had access to these Amiga 2000 build videos, I think I would have. Yeah, I'm nearly off the frame. Like I say though, you know, this channel's a bit how you doing. I think, bloody fly. I think I would have been a lot more confident starting out than I was. So, you know, yeah, they're coming up okay. I just want them to be nice and clean. Honestly, I don't think I'll use this chipset. I do have a Donor 500, and which sounds sacrilegious, but I bought it cheaply a long time ago, and it the case was smashed and the keyboard was a Samsung one that had seen some water. Can't get a new membrane for it. I sold it for spares for someone who was trying to, you know, maybe fix one up. But anyway, so I'll let those dry off a little bit and then I'll stuff them into this stuff. In you go, Gary. Not Gary, Buster. And there's Buster looking pretty. What I might do with this board, this socket shot, I may make another A2000 remake, but I won't spend the kind of money that I did on this one. The component pack I got was excellent, is excellent, and made the whole thing very, very approachable. If I do it again, though, I will use as many used parts as I can, so I'll order them myself. I'll probably still need all the sockets, resistors, capacitors. I don't know that pulling out these EMI things makes any sense. I might consider just bridging them instead of installing them. And see how hard it is to pull these, to suck these out. I suspect the answer is that it's very hard, but I'm ready to be surprised. They're in good condition. Often they had minimal or sometimes even no use. This one's shot in this board, but it may not be in another donor board that I've got. So if I go again, I will may even reuse the sockets. If I go again, I will I'll reuse the RAM. I'll make one that is not made with all new stuff. I'll make one that's as low a budget as possible. I won't try and buy a gold plated board, and I'll see just how cheaply I can do one. Anyway, harvesting chips. The A500 donor I've got starts, so I'm going to pull the chips out of it as well and kick off the remake with a known working chipset, and then I'm going to use that Donor 500 as a chipset tester, and that will mean that I can get a feel for how many good chips I've got and possibly even sell a full set, which would be lovely, and should enable somebody with a bluster to maybe make the EATX version of this and put it into a PC tower case. I reckon it'd be awesome. The EATX version has a lot of surface mount components, and it has an ATX power connector. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, interesting way to set up an Amiga. I mean, might even do it myself. It's an interesting idea, actually. I could do the EATX version with all used parts. No, I've got nothing better to do, apparently. Anyway, pulling chips slowly, can't get to an end, or having no luck on one end, pressing it back down on the end that has been going okay can cause it to rock around some bezel point. I suspect it's like, anyway, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, have a look at videos around bluing up and a metal part, often cast iron, and putting it on a surface plate and then pivoting it and figuring out if it's got really good contact. When you try and run, it won't pivot in the middle, it'll pivot over here somewhere, and there are all sorts of spots that you need to support a precision surface so that it doesn't bow, and it's not, you know, a quarter in and a quarter in. There's maths. Anyway, yep, pressing it down, you can rock it a little bit, and take time. And I've found that lubricate, it's not really a lubricant, although my favourite YouTuber does use it as a cutting fluid on aluminium, and has demonstrated with that it can be a lubricant, or at least can intervene between two metals, which is what a lubricant does. Yeah, just take your time.